Hi, my name is Candice Rivas. I attend College of the Desert and the year is 2024. This is my video report based on Chapter 9, Sexual Orientations from the textbook Our Sexuality. The 4 key elements from this chapter that I will be focusing on will be about a continuum of sexual orientations, societal attitudes regarding homosexuality, the gay rights movement, and coming out. Part 1. A spectrum of sexual orientation. Sexual orientation refers to someone's emotional, romantic, or sexual attraction to others and their sense of identity based on those attractions. This may pertain to sexual attraction that falls under homo or heterosexuality, bisexuality, pansexuality, or asexual, but those are just a few examples. There are countless sexual orientations that someone can identify with. Sexual fluidity is the concept that someone's sexual orientation or identity can change or evolve over time. This is a visual of the Kinsey scale, which is the 7-point continuum created by Alfred Kinsey, made for his analysis of sexual orientation. The scale ranges from 0 to 6. This sexual orientation visual comes from emosis.org, showing a great visual of some of the sexual orientations I mentioned. Gay is same gender, bisexual 2+ genders, pansexual refers to any gender, and asexual may not experience sexual attraction. Again, there are many more orientations, as these are just some of the more well-known and few. As stated, the terminology is continuously evolving, which is amazing for people of all ages to discover what best connects to themselves. Lastly, someone does not need validation or experience from anyone to identify with sexual orientation. For example, a bisexual woman can still identify as bisexual even if she is dating a man or has only had sexual or dating history with men. Part 2, Societal Attitudes Regarding Homosexuality. Homosexuality in cross-cultural perspective. Depending on the parts of the world, there are different societal attitudes towards homosexuality. Religious beliefs can also play a huge role in the viewpoint of homosexuality. Some examples of religions that prohibit same-sex marriages are Roman Catholic Church, Islam, American Baptist churches, just to name a few. Homosexuality in many religions can be considered a sin that puts pressure on someone to convert to heterosexuality. As times evolve and change, though, there are more religions that are accepting and embracing of homosexuality. Some religious groups promote conversion therapy, with ministry groups combining religious teachings with group counseling. The American Psychological Association maintains that conversion therapy is at best ineffective. By 2014, 2 states, California and New Jersey, had banned the practice of conversion therapy for gay youth. In the early to mid-1900s, societal attitudes toward homosexuality shifted to falsely considering it a sin to a sickness, associating it to mental illness. In the 1980s and as late as 1951, horrifying procedures were performed to so-called cure for homosexuality. Psychotherapy, drugs, hormones, hypnosis, shock therapies, and inversion therapies had been used. In 1973, the American Psychiatric Association removed homosexuality from its diagnostic categories of mental disorders. This was able to have more therapies and counseling change its viewpoint of homosexuality, such as providing gay affirmative therapy to heal from internalized negative feelings about trauma over their sexual orientation, and to cope with negative societal attitudes, creating a more accepting and healing space instead of a hostile one. Causes of homophobia and hate crimes. Homophobia is by definition the fear, hatred, discomfort with, or mistrust of people who are in the queer community. Heterosexism is related to this as it refers to the belief that heterosexuality is superior, which can lead to harmful discrimination and stigma of people in the gay community. This kind of belief can result in discrimination that is extremely harmful and hurtful to queer individuals. Acceptance has increased over time in the United States. This creates more opportunities for individuals with homophobic viewpoints to work on educating themselves or engaging with others to have more experience, to not live in ignorance or hate. Increasing acceptance transitions me to the next section, the gay rights movement. Part 3, the gay rights movement. The gay rights movement was the rise of homosexual activism that rose in the late 1960s. The goal points of this range from anti-discrimination and human rights to gain access to adoption, employment, housing, and more. The symbolic birth of homosexual activism happened in 1969 in New York when police raided a gay bar, the Stonewall Inn. This was not something uncommon, as police raids were common, but this was a time that the bar's patrons fought back. This created a riot that lasted until the following day. This incident occurred as a catalyst for the creation of gay rights groups and activities still prominent today, such as Pride Week and parades held yearly. Since the early 1970s, countless groups of individuals have worked to continue promoting civil rights for the gay community. This led to decriminalization of private sexual behavior, anti-discrimination, and legal civil marriage for same-sex couples. Part 4, coming out. Coming out is becoming aware of and disclosing one's homosexual identity to others. With a predominantly heterosexual society, that could have the potential to be possibly hostile to someone who identifies as gay. This can affect how someone chooses to come out or to come out at all. This can also depend on someone's support system or friends and family to feel safe with who they choose to come out to. Not everyone has a safe environment or accessible resources to be able to fully and truly express themselves to come out. Everyone's coming out journey may look differently at different ages or stages of their lives. Steps taken may be self-acknowledgement, self-acceptance, disclosure, and involvement in the gay community. The first step to coming out can be coming to the self-realization or discovery of sexual preference and what sexual orientation someone identifies with. Self-acknowledgement can be a freeing start to gaining self-acceptance if it is something that they are struggling with. Self-acceptance can be difficult if there is a deep-rooted shame or internalized negative stigma, if there is judgment from their own families or other sources of stress for people to come out and be reluctant to do so. When feeling safe to do so, self-acceptance can lead to positive growth and towards the next step, disclosure. Even with self-acceptance, someone can choose whether or not they want to disclose their sexuality. This is completely personal and should be done when they choose to, whereas being outed refers to someone else disclosing someone's sexuality, which should not be done because the only person who has the right to do so is themselves. Some guidelines to coming out to friends and family can consist of forming a support network, choosing a trusted first person to tell, practice mentally how you want to go about it, and plan in advance, to name a few. There are also resource centers, hotlines, and organizations for support for those who need a safe place to get the assistance they need. This can also be a great way to find a safe and encouraging way to find involvement in the gay community. Being involved in the community can be a fantastic way for minorities to find a sense of belonging, acceptance, and affirmation, while also making an impact in a positive way. This was just a brief description of some aspects of sexual orientations I believe will continue to grow and thrive as times are continuing to become more accepting, building a better community to live in with a very hopeful future. Below, I have a list of some resources for mental health resources. Thanks to our Human Sexuality textbook, 13th edition, for the information for this video essay, Dr. Alvarez for the weekly class slideshows, and lastly, help from my partner when collecting feedback for this project. Thank you.